So joining me now, Matthew Continetti. He's the editor-in-chief of the Washington Free Beacon. So Matthew, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Let's just begin. Let's take a half step back, because when everyone's waking up and reading this Washington Post piece about, talks of this broker convention, what would lead to a broker convention? What would that look like, Matthew?
Well, the way that the political analysts that I trust describe it is, right now the Republican field is so large and the delegate allocation rules in the different states are so complex that you could have a situation, if all of the candidates remain in the race for a while, where no one candidate has the required number of delegates to actually win the nomination. This is something that Sean Trendy at Real Clear Politics has written about. I think that may be what the people at that RNC meeting Nia Malika was reporting on were discussing.
Okay, and then people are saying that that would be so different than, for example, in '76, it was Ford, Reagan. That was two candidates at the time, and as you point out, this is so many more, and who knows how many rounds it could go. There is that. Number two, there's this element now, Senator Ted Cruz in this leaked audio, New York Times obtained in this private fundraiser. Here's the clip.
I like and respect both Donald and Ben. But I think in both instances in particular, you look at Paris, you look at San Bernardino, it's given a seriousness to this race that people are looking for who is prepared to be a commander-in-chief. Now that's a question of strength, but it's also a question of judgment. And I think that is a question that is a challenging for both of them. So my approach, much to the frustration of the media, has been to bear hug both of them and smother them with love. Because I think, look, people run as who they are. I believe that gravity will bring both of those campaigns down, and I think the lion's share of their supporters come to us.
All right, so that was at this fundraiser, and listen, these politicians have been around. They know that people are going to have cameras and record things, but that said, that was private. And then you have this Cruz tweet since then saying this, quote, "The establishment's only hope, Trump and me in a cage match. Sorry to disappoint. Donald Trump is terrific. Hashtag deal with it." Here's my question for you, Matthew, as I'm looking ahead to Vegas and our, Republican debate. How do you think the dynamic between those two, between Cruz and Trump, will play out for all of us to see?
Well, I think it's up to Donald Trump, because in that tweet you just read is exactly what Ted Cruz said in private he was going to do, which is continue to bear hug Donald Trump and wait, basically, for his campaign to fade away. I think there's real danger in any Republican waiting for Donald Trump's campaign to fade away. But I think in the debate Tuesday, you'll see Ted Cruz try to avoid conflict. And then really the matter is up to Donald Trump. Does he want to initiate conflict with Ted Cruz, since it's Cruz who's creeping up in the Iowa polls?
He is creeping indeed. You write this piece in the Free Beacon about how the party divides gets to how Trump's candidacy may force Republicans to realize their party may be changing. Tell me how, Matthew.
Well, look, I think the party's nominee is a reflection of where the party is going. And you saw that in 1964 with Barry Goldwater. You saw that in 1972 with George McGovern. You saw it in 1980 with Ronald Reagan, where he brought in religious voters, and he also brought in kind of urban voters who were part of the New Deal coalition. So it's very possible that what we're seeing in Donald Trump is a new change in the complexion of the Republican Party, bringing in new voters and maximizing kind of the white working class voters who have always been a part, but a neglected part of the Republican coalition. If that happens, then the party of Reagan and George W. Bush will probably cease to exist as we know it after this election.
Which is what is making a lot of establishment Republicans shake. Matthew Continetti, thank you so much, with Washington Free Beacon editor-in-chief. Thank you. And a reminder